So last time I have shown you the structure of the C++ program.
Ma'am, you are on mute.
Okay, just listen now. So I think the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so last time we have discussed about the structure of the C++ program. So just to revise, always, always the C++ structure will have the include files, followed by what? Followed by the class declaration, followed by the member function definition, and then the main function. Okay, this is the normal structure of your C++ program. Now what happens with this C++ program? See, always whenever you are writing a C++ program, you will be always remembering this structure. So whatever you are writing should be with respect to, should be in that respective field. If you are able to do that, then your programs will be, means you will be able to execute your programs properly. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, sorry for the disturbance, students. Now, what I'll just show you some small codes with which I'll be explaining you the different concepts. Now, see, like C, when you have started learning the C, or when you have started with your C programming, for C programming also you have learned about whatever the different header files that are being used in that C program. Then you have come to this main function. अभी ये main क्या है? Function ही है. Yes, students. Main is a function. Yes, students. And what is this int written in front of main? What do you mean by that int? Yes, students. What is this int? Hmm? Yes, I want the replies from you, students. Main के आगे what you have?
Variable is of integer type.
Integer.
Yes, it is integer. Int लिखा है तो वो integer ही है. But what it is called as? Why you are writing that int?
Data type.
The output that we get, it would be in the format of integer.
Yes.
The function will give the output which will be the type of integer.
See, you have learned in your C language, you have learned that functions should always return some value. Yes or no? If you are defining a function, your function should always return some value. इसके लिए function में either you will have a return statement or you will have a statement which prints your output of your function. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके सो यहाँ पे इंट लिखा है तो वो इंटीजर ही है बट व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय दैट ये मेन फंक्शन में तुम लोग जो भी कर रहे हो दैट शुड बी ऑफ टाइप इंटीजर एंड द वैल्यू विच इट विल गिव लाइक सपोज आई कैन डू एनीथिंग सपोज अभी आई डोंट हैव दिस हेलो वर्ड प्रोग्राम व्हाट आई हैव आई एम डूइंग समथिंग एल्स आई एम डूइंग इंट I am declaring two variables, the one which I have showed you last time, and then I am doing a is equal to a plus b. But then I have defined the values of a also. For that I need to assign some values also. Suppose a is equal to 5 I have given, and I am giving int b is equal to 10. And I wanted to update this value of a. So when I wanted to update this value of a, so what I'll be doing, I am writing just simply cout a. When I am doing this, what I am doing, I am just simply printing the updated value of a. So I am getting the updated value of a as 15. Yes students, अभी ये जो मैंने किया इसमें a का वैल्यू कैसा मिला मुझे, I got a का वैल्यू as integer. ये फंक्शन में व्हाट आई हैव डन अ सिंपल एडिशन एंड वो एडिशन का रिजल्ट मुझे क्या मिला, एक इंटीजर वैल्यू मिला. सो व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग दिस इज व्हाट कॉल्ड एज द डेटा टाइप ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन. This int what you have written, this is what called as a data type or the return type of that particular function. See, integer, character, float, ये सब क्या है तुम्हारे identifiers है. Yes or no? They are all called as your identifiers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in C++ also we'll be using all that identifiers and constants which you have used in C language. Okay, so you know that for identifiers are actually nothing but what? They refer to the names of the variables or functions or arrays or classes, whatever you declare. Okay, and then to create means whatever the variable, see, like when I am saying a becomes my identifier, and for that identifier integer becomes what? My data type. And why they are called as data type? Because they are the predefined keywords in your language. They are not identifiers. Your variables are actually identifiers, but this int, float, character, whatever we are writing, they are called as the keywords, or they are called as what? The inbuilt data types. Are you getting, students? What they are called as? Inbuilt data types. Yes, everyone?
Yes.
So integer, float, character, Boolean, whatever you have learned, const, then even class, these are all the keywords. But these keywords are also called as the data types in your programming language. And when you are writing a particular variable, for that followed by that keyword, it is what called as an identifier, which identifies what kind of a data you have in that particular variable. So when I am writing int a is equal to 5, I know that a is of type integer, and that's why it will hold the integer value. When I'm writing a particular function with a specific data type, I get to know that that function will return an integer value. Okay, so in this one you have just done simply addition and you are writing return 0. Whenever you will write just remember one more point, whenever you will have a function and in front of that function you will write a return type, your function should also return a value of that data type only. अगर मैंने यहाँ पे character main लिखा, if I have written character main, what does it mean? Normally we will not write character char main, but what does it mean?
Uh, the function will return character value.
Yes, the function should return a character value. So then return 0 will give you an error. So what you should return? You should return a particular character. In that case, you should return a particular character. Like suppose now, अगर मैंने यहाँ पे return 0 ही लिखा, you just try with simple codes and then run your program. You will understand with the errors you are getting. See what it is showing? It is showing character main. Normally we don't write this char main. Why? Because main is our function, which, and if we are writing a return type to it, it should be of integer or the float type. Char also we can write, but for other functions we can write char. Okay, so this is when you are writing it to a particular function, they are called as the return types. When they are writing in front of any particular function, they are called as return types. Okay. Now, just a minute. Now just see this one. Is it visible? Variables and data types screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So see here I am taking this slide just to let you know about what do you mean by variables. Identifiers this you have already used and learn in C, but just to revise it we are just going through with this. So what is given? What is a variable? Variable is means whenever you are declaring a variable, actually a location on computer's memory to store your data, then use and change its value in a program. So when you are talking about this A, B, these are all called as your variables. Yes or no? Yes or no, students?
Sorry,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
See, variable is nothing but what? It is just with variable what you are doing, you are just defining a location on your computer's memory to store a particular data. Then you can use that particular variable and change its value in a program. Like in the example which we have just now I have shown you, what we have done, we have written int a is equal to 5. उसमें हमने क्या किया, we have used a keyword or you can say you have used a data type as integer. You have declared a variable as a, so you have written int a and you have assigned some value to that a. So you have written int a is equal to 5. What do you mean by that? In your computer memory ये वेरिएबल a क्रिएट हो जाएगा, उसके लिए एक जगह क्रिएट हो जाएगा. There will be one space located for that variable a where you can store a particular value. Like I have written a is equal to 5 initially. Can you see the programming screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, तो अभी यहाँ पे क्या होता है, फर्स्ट टाइम ऑन द फर्स्ट लाइन व्हेन योर प्रोग्राम गेट्स एग्जीक्यूटेड, तो ए के लिए मेमोरी अलोकेट हो जाएगा. यस एवरीवन, आई वांट द रिस्पांस फ्रॉम एवरीवन. ए के लिए मे बी दिस इज
Yes,
दिस
ma'am.
ऑलरेडी यू आर अवेयर, बट जस्ट if anybody does not understood or if anybody is having any problem, that's why. सी क्या होता है, ए के लिए मेमोरी में एक देयर विल बी वन स्पेस एलोकेटेड फॉर दिस वेरिएबल ए इन द कंप्यूटर्स मेमोरी. ओके, वेयर फॉर दैट वेरिएबल दिस वैल्यू 5 विल बी असाइन, मतलब वो 5 वो वेरिएबल में स्टोर होगा. यस स्टूडेंट्स, then you have int b is equal to 10, so that means another memory will be created for this variable b. Yes or no? Another memory will be created for b, and
Yes,
in
ma'am.
that location the value 10 will be stored, right? Now after that what happens, you are changing the value of a, is getting changed. So that means what will happen now, already you have one location for a and there you have written value of 5. So when you will execute a is equal to a plus b, uh, will it create one more space for a? Will it create one more space for a in the memory? This is the question to you.
It will exchange the like value.
Instead of exchange, you can use the word override. It will
Yes,
override
ma'am.
that value. Okay. So on instead of 5, now the new value will be overridden on that a. So 5 will went off, and instead of 5, what value you will have now? You will have 15. So a's value will get updated with 15 and b's value will remain as it is, as 10. That is what the basic concept of your programming. So that is what they are saying, like when you are creating a particular variable, actually you are allocating a memory or you are allocating a location on your computer's memory to store a particular value, and then you can use that value any number of time in your program and change it whenever you require in your program. Okay, next is you have how you will give the name to your variables, which are called as your identifiers also. So you can use upper and lowercase letters, digits from 0 to 9, and you can use the underscore also. Means I can declare my variables however I want. If I wanted to declare my variable as uh, int FIT underscore followed by a particular student's name, or I wanted to declare the variable as int a particular student's name underscore followed by his roll number. So I can use any particular pattern for declaring a variable. So variable name can be anything. It is not strict that you should use A, B, C, all that single characters. It can be anything. Now, the first character must be letter or underscore. This is a important property you have whenever you are creating a variable. Now, this is the important one. Why? Because what happens? Sometimes people give any name to their variables, and then that creates the problem. See, like here, if I'll declare int, अभी यहाँ पे b है, b के जगह पे if I give the variable name as dash new, and if I'll run this, I'll get an error. Now, why is that error? Okay, students, why is that error? Suppose I have commented this statement. Still, I'll get an error. Why is that error?
Because of the variable name.
Because of the variable name. Your variable name should never start with hyphen. You can make use of underscore, that will not be a problem. Your variable name can start with the underscore, but it should not start with a hyphen. If you'll give a hyphen at the beginning of a particular variable name, it will be an error. So if I'll execute this one, my code will get executed. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now next is, don't contain any blank in between your variable name or less than, greater than, ampersand, exclamation mark. I hope this slide is visible to all of you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Percent
Yes,
sign,
ma'am.
caret sign, asterisk sign, etc. We cannot use this characters or this symbols in our variable name. Why we can't use this? Anybody is having any idea about it? Why can't we use this in our variable names?
Special character.
What? Pardon? Can you
So
please? No, I didn't get
that
what it
it's
is.
not in
Because it's not in the syntax.
It's not in the syntax. Okay, anything else?
Or because we cannot use the special characters.
We cannot use
Special characters.
special characters. Yes, these are kind of a special characters, or you can say these are the special symbols or the operators. Some of them are operators, which you have used in your language also, C language also. Like if you remember, see, this ampersand is nothing but what? Your ampersand, if you use it twice, it will become your AND operator. Like some of them are used as an operator, some of them are used as certain special characters like less than, greater than we are using. If we are combining one more time, we are using it for C in and C out. So this kind of special characters cannot be used in your variables. Next important point you have, C++ is a case sensitive, that is uppercase and lowercase letters are different. So you have to remember, like suppose agar variable, if you have declared any particular variable, agar if you have declared that variable with uppercase, like here if I have declared variable with capital B, and below if I am writing A is equal to A plus B, it will not work because it is case sensitive. It cannot read the value of that B then. Okay, so you have to be sure with what kind of a variables that you have used in your how you have declared your variables in your program. So A1 in small letters and A1 A in capitals are different identifiers. Then you now they have mentioned that not a keywords means your variable name should also not have this keywords, the keywords which we have just declared, int, float, double, character, void, return, main. Because see, these are all the special keywords you have, the special, they are the inbuilt data types you have. Some of them are inbuilt data types, some of them are inbuilt function. Main is your inbuilt function which you have to, not inbuilt means it is a predefined function that you have, which you are writing it and changing it according to your requirements. Return, these are all the keywords which are defined in your program. So you should not use this keyword in your variable name. So I cannot write int comma int, int comma int is equal to 5, and I am considering that another int as a variable, so that is not allowed. Okay, hope you have understood. Okay, students.
Yes.
Then
Ma'am,
one
the
more.
Yes.
Yes, somebody is saying they are having a doubt. Yes. What's the
Can you
doubt?
please tell the difference between int, float, double char, everything, and return or main? Like the difference between those two.
See, int is normally used whenever you have integer values. Integer values मतलब क्या? A proper decimal values you have. For the decimal values, you will be using an integer data type. There is a specific range you have for integer values, that is 32767, 766 to 32767. This is the range you have. Within this range, whenever you have any specific value, that values you can declare it as integer. Okay. Is this clear
Okay,
with
ma'am.
integer?
Yes,
Just a
ma'am.
minute.
And ma'am, what is the limit of long int? Ma'am,
That is about the integer. Okay. Now we can declare the float variables also. What do you mean by float? Float means whenever you have any kind of a fractional
Yes.
values or
hello,
decimal.
ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, what is the limit of long int?
Limit of
Long int and double float.
that I have to check. I will check and I'll let you know.
Okay, ma'am.
Because all the values I don't remember now. Long int, there is a specific range you have. That range is very long. That is something 2147483648, something like that. The range is too. The range of values are too. The very wide variety of, because it is long int, so large values you can use it in long int. And what else you use? What else you asked? Yes, Kef. What else? Long int and what else you asked?
Double float.
Double float. Double float.
Double. For double, it is 1.7 to the exponential of 308 to 1.7 to the exponential of 308. That range you have for double. For float also it is similar, but for float it is 3.4 exponential to the 38. That kind of a range you have. Okay, you just for only you need to remember the range that you have for integer values, which is from 3 to minus 32768 to plus 32767. And for your characters it is from minus 128 to plus 127, because these are the smaller values which becomes easier for you to remember. Rest all the other values are very means they are very large values. It is difficult to remember all that values. For unsigned characters the range is 0 to 255. Then for unsigned integer the range is from 0 to 65535. And similarly, you have signed int and short int also have a similar range like your integers. Okay. What is important to remember here? Important thing is how many bytes or how much storage each one of this data type required. Okay. Like character के लिए how many bytes are required? So if you are talking about character, character is of 1 byte. 1 byte means how many bits?
8 bits.
8 bits. So
8
that
bits.
yeah means
Ma'am,
whenever.
but I have read some place that yeah, the storage depends upon the motherboard architecture and processor architecture.
No, no, no. It is not like that. Where you have read that?
Ma'am, in a tutorial I have seen.
See, these are the fixed ranges you have for each one of this data type. So whenever you have any specific this data type, they will be having this range only. बट उसमें तुम्हारा वैल्यू क्या है, ओनली दैट मच वैल्यू विल गेट सेव, ओनली दैट वैल्यू विल गेट सेव.
No,
So
ma'am, I'm
motherboard,
talking about the size. 2 by 4
maybe
by
for
7.
certain motherboards it must be like that. For certain motherboards architecture it must be like that. I have not read it from about motherboard architectures and all. I am not into that part, so not having much idea about it. But if we are talking about a normal processor, so for a processor, this is the size is fixed. Means if you are using a character, it will be using 8 bits to store one single character. If it is an integer, it will be using 2 bytes to store that integer. Means 2 bytes means how many bits it will be using? Yes, students?
16 bits, ma'am.
16 bits. Okay. So for integer it is 2 bits. For unsigned integer, sorry, 2 bytes, not bits. For integer it is 2 bytes. Unsigned integer, signed integer, short integer, unsigned short integer, signed short integer. For all that it is 2 bytes only. Only for long int it will be 4 bytes. Long int, signed long int, unsigned long int, float. For all it is 4 bytes, and for double it is 8 bytes, and for long but double it is 10 bytes. So this is the size used for your size used for your basic data types. So I was telling about the float data type. Float is of what? Float is used to store the fractional values. Like if suppose I wanted to store the value like 15.5, the fractional values, that time you will be making use of this float or double variable. Okay, double and floats are used for storing the fractional or the decimal point values. Okay, so if I wanted to, now here there is no need of like C में तुम लोग क्या करते हो, float का value print करना है तो you write %f. Yes or no? Yes, students.
Yes.
But that is not required in C++. You can simply write float C out C. So it will print the value of C. What happened? Okay, this will change. Got it? So first 15 is the addition of these two, and second is 15.5 is the value of C. Since I have not used the, you can use, now there is one more thing. Now whenever you wanted to go to the next line, suppose अभी A का value print करने के बाद I wanted to go to the next line. So for that you have one another keyword which is called as Endl. Endl means end that line and go to the next line. So when I'll run this, my A will come on one line and B, C ka answer will come on another line. Understood?
Ma'am, we cannot use this slash n.
You can use slash n also.
So
Slash n
both are
also you
same
can.
only, na
Both are
ma'am?
same. Yes, yes. Either you, but Endl ऐसा specifically character है, sorry keyword है C++ में, so we can use that, or otherwise see I can print it like this also. A is equal to and followed by A, and then I want C to be printed on next line. So before printing that C, I will write slash n. C is equal to, and then I will run this. So I will get A on first line and C on the second line. You can use slash n or you can use endl. Anything will do. Okay. Neha, clear with the data types, integer, float, double?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Same way you can make use of characters also. Now we'll move to the next slide. Okay. Now there are two types of variables you can have, that is programmer defined and built-in types. So built-in I have already told you, like whatever the variables that you are using, the variables that are already defined, like this int, float, char, then return. These are all your built-in data types, you can say, right? So you cannot use them to declare any other variable. And programmer defined means whenever I'm writing a particular class or whenever I'm declaring an object, that becomes your programmer defined. That we will see later on. Now you will not understand that. Forget about this extra. So now we come to a point, that is we should know what is a data type. So when we wish to store data in C++ program, we have to tell the compiler which type of data we wanted to store. So the data type will have the characteristics as the range of values that can be stored and the operations that can be performed on variables of that type. We should identify what range of values we are using. Okay, means the values which we are using, they are in what range. And before that, we should identify what type of data we are using or what type of data we wanted to store. And we also need to identify what type of operation that we are going to perform on that particular variable. Like suppose now I wanted to do the addition of two fractional numbers. I wanted to do the addition of two fractional numbers. तो मुझे कैसा variables declare करना पड़ेगा? Yes, students. Float or double?
Float.
I need to declare two float or the double variable, and the result where I am storing that variable should also be of type float or double.
Float.
Okay. So what is your C++ built-in data types? They are called the fundamental types, or they are also called as primitive types. So please remember these different names given to your data types. The data types which are already defined or already used in your program or already structured in your program, they are called as built-in data types or they are called as primitive data types. Okay. So the fundamental types, they are categorized based on what type of data you have. So for numerical data you have integer and floating points. For character you have char kind of char data type, and for logical variables or the logical types you have the boolean. So boolean is also used in your C++ as a data type. Now next you have, so let's discuss about this integer data type. So integer, as I said, integer variables represent the integer numbers. Like we can have the number like this, the one which is shown on your screen, or you can have minus 45 also, because that also comes in your range. Okay, so integer variables do not store any real numbers. Integer variables always will be a proper decimal number. It will not be a real or the fractional number. Okay, this is the example of the integer variable. See, now here a simple program is written where variable 1 is declared as integer, variable 2 is declared as another integer variable. Then you have assigned a particular value. Variable 1 is equal to 20, variable 2 is equal to variable 1 plus 10, and then you are printing the result. Now in this program, here they have written std followed by 2:. Yes or no? Yes or no, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Now why that is written? Because यहाँ पे using namespace std नहीं लिखा है इसके लिए. Why? Because using namespace std नहीं लिखा है इसके लिए we are using, in the program they have written std, then 2:, and then cout. See, so that's why this std is written. Otherwise, there is no need to write this std followed by these 2:, are called as scope resolution operator. In C++, whenever you are writing 1:, followed by another colon, it is what called as your scope resolution operator. Okay. Okay, students. So what is that scope resolution operator? That also we will discuss it later. And then to print it, you are simply writing cout variable 2 and then Endl statement. So I have told you about Endl also, which is used just to print the value. And then return 0, because here we have written int as a return type of this main function. So whenever you have int as a return type of your main function, you should always have a return 0 statement, because without that your main function will not work. Now next what you have? A floating point type. So what is a floating point type? Which contains the decimal numbers, or you can say a fraction number, like examples like 1.23 or minus 0.087. So there are three sizes you have with float that is with a single precision, then or otherwise you can use double with the double precision, and you have a long double which is also called as the extended precision. So for a float, this is the example. You have declared a temperature variable which is equal to 37.623. Double Fahrenheit, for double you have declared this Fahrenheit variable which is of size, which is having a value 98.415, and long double you have a variable called as account balance which is having a value 1897.23. Like how many precisions you have, how many precisions you can have in a one particular value. So float will contain only single precision, double will contain double precision, and long double will contain the extended precisions. So this is the example for your float program. Here float radius and area is being declared, and the pi value is also declared in float. So you are just asking user to enter the radius of the circle. You are taking that value C in radius, and then you are calculating the area of this, what the area of circle. Okay, so pi into r square, that is what radius square, so it will give you the area of circle, and then you are returning 0. Do I need to execute this example? Because I feel this is easy for you to understand. Yes, students.
Ma'am, what is the
No, ma'am.
ENDL?
Hmm?
Ma'am, what is that ENDL? And
ENDL अभी मैंने बताया था ना तुम्हें प्रोग्राम में एंडल. यहाँ पे इंस्टेड ऑफ स्लैश एंड आई कैन यूज एंडल. जस्ट नाउ आई हैव टोल्ड यू ना. एंडल इज यूज्ड फॉर व्हाट? I can
Switching
write
to
it
new
like
line.
this.
Go to next line.
It is end L, not I. End L is used to, like अगर मुझे slash and नहीं use करना है तो I can use end L, which will take me to the next line. End L means what? End that line and go to the next line.
okay, ma'am.
It's taking time to execute.
Mama, did after the अभ्यास. काय? What?
So this C++ program for calculating the area of circle, I don't think so. I have to do it. It's the easiest one. Okay. Now the char data type. Char data type which is used for characters, like whenever you wanted to store the letters or digits and special symbols, you can make use of this char data type. Each character is enclosed in single quotes. You know how the characters to be declared, right? Some of the values belonging to the character data types are like, you, if suppose you have to declare capital A, so you will be writing it
Hello,
in
ma'am.
single quotes. Yes.
Ma'am, can we have a break of 10 minutes, please?
You need the break.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me just finish with this data types and then I'll give you. Not 10 minutes, 5 minutes I'll give. I hope that
Okay,
will be
ma'am.
okay. Okay, so like this, your character variables will be declared. Capital A, small a, 0. If suppose 0, if I don't wanted to declare 0 as integer, I wanted to declare it as a character or a string, I'll be using this. Okay, or any special character. A blank space is a character and is written as in single quotes with a space left between the single quotes. Okay, so that will give you a blank character. So that can also be, and this is the example for your character. So you can have char variable 1 is declared as this one, char variable 2 is declared as slash t. Now when you are using slash t is having a special purpose. What is the use of slash t? I think in the last lecture I have told you.
Space.
Space.
New tab.
To give the tab, not new tab, it's a tab. Whenever you wanted to give the tab, you will be using slash t, right? But when this slash t is enclosed in single quotes, it becomes a character. So that time it doesn't mean that it is used for giving a tab. Okay, it becomes a character. So now when you execute this program and if you print the cout char variable 1 and char variable 2, that time you will get this a and slash t printed. Okay, then char variable 1 is getting updated with this b, so b instead of a you will get the b. Then this boolean data type, you should also understand that boolean data type is also available in your C++ language, which has only two values, that is true and false. Sometimes we need in our program or in our project, we need to have the answers only in the form of true or false. So in that case, you can make use of this boolean variable or boolean data type. It is used to manipulate the logical expressions. True and false are called your logical values. So boolean, bool, true and false are the reserved words. So you cannot use this for any one of you. This is true ka spelling is here wrong. This bool, true and false, you cannot use it for any variable name. So for example, boolean, I can write bool is even is equal to false. Bool key found is equal to true. Like that I can write it in my program. Understood? Yes, students?
मैम वो ट्रू फॉल्स का मतलब समझा नहीं मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ आप
क्या नहीं समझा?
मतलब bool is even false रियल नहीं समझा
See, matlab Boolean is a data type, another type of data type that is available in your C++ language. Now, Boolean is used only to have logical expressions or the logical values. Boolean can give only two types of values. जब भी तुम लोग boolean एक वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर करोगे ना, if you will declare any variable का data type as boolean, that means that variable can give only two values. Either it can give true or it can give false. Are you getting?
यस मैम
Like I can write up a program where I wanted to check whether the number entered is prime or is even or odd. So there I can declare one more variable called as boolean. Bool is even is equal to false. Like initially I will check, I will write the code to check whether the number is even or odd, and then I will check if it is even is equal to true. I will write bool is even is equal to true. That means number is even, else number is odd. Like that. Understood?
यस मैम
Okay, so it's 11:27. Take a 5 minutes break and join back the same class. I'm there here only. So after 5 minutes, you can we will start the remaining things.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, are you gonna share this website?
Hope all of you are back, students.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next we have the variable declaration. How do you declare the variables? Okay. So for declaring a particular variable, this is just the revised kind of a thing. You students, please take it as a revision, because some of you said you wanted to revise the Sika concept. So these are all you have learned in C also. How you declare the variable? Always you know that your variable will always follow. First you have a data type, and then you will be having a variable name. So all variables must be declared anywhere in your program with a name and data type before they are used. So you always begin with a data type and then followed by a particular variable name, whichever you wanted to write. So variables of the same type can be declared in declared all together. Like if suppose you have 4 integer variables you wanted to declare, so I can write only one data type as integer, and then I can write a comma b comma c comma d, like that I can declare. Or I can have a separate declaration for each one of the variable also. Okay, clear with this variable declaration?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, then how you assign a value to your variables. So to assign the value in your to assign a value to your variables, there are different ways in which you can do it. The first is in the declaration of the variable itself, like the one which I have done in my program also. I have done int a is equal to 5. So that means when I'm declaring that variable, that time only I have assigned a value. I can do it like this also. Or what I can do, I can declare a particular variable, like here I can declare another variable first, and then I can write d is equal to some other value. That way also I can do it. So first way is what they are saying, you can declare the variable, you can assign a value at the declaration itself. So example is in sum is equal to 0, like that. Or using a assignment statement, you declare it separately, like first you declare the variable and then you assign a value, that is using assignment statement. Okay. Or otherwise the third way is accepting the value from the user using cin function. That also we have discussed, like if we can ask the user to enter a particular value, and then we can get a particular value for a variable. So that way also we can have the assignment of the variable. So these are the 3 ways in which your variable can be declared.
Ma'am, can you please execute the third type?
This one,
No, the third type of variable declaration. CN.
third type I seen, that we have discussed last time. Now like suppose now I wanted to accept the value for another variable, so I will ask the user cin first, before that c out, enter, just to understand, enter the value for another variable, suppose, otherwise not to confuse you, f. I will ask the user to enter the value for f, and then I will write cin f, and then I will use this. Suppose I will use a is equal to a plus f. Suppose I am commenting this one. I have not declared that f, that's why it's giving that error. So first I need to declare the f. C is not there. I will comment this statement also. Sorry. See, it is asking me to enter the value for f. Suppose now f I have declared it as integer. तो यहाँ पे भी मुझे वैल्यू फ्रैक्शंस में देख के फायदा नहीं है. I should give a integer value only. So suppose I am giving value as 12, just a random value. So it is giving value of a as equal to 17. तो मतलब now it is not showing you that f के लिए value 12 assign हो गया है, but whenever you are asking user to enter the value, whenever you are asking
ये
user to
वाला
enter
सी आउट वर्क क्यों नहीं किया?
कौन सा सी आउट वर्क नहीं किया?
एफ एफ ये वाला एफ वाला
एफ वाला वर्क हुआ ना, ए का वैल्यू प्रिंट हो रहा है ना.
यस मैम.
वर्क हो रहा है ना. सी
ओके
आई एम
मैम.
आस्किंग यूजर टू एंटर
ओके
द
मैम,
वैल्यू.
अंडरस्टूड.
हाँ, it is understood everyone, the third way of assigning value.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please repeat?
मैम यहाँ पे मतलब f का वैल्यू क्या है, मतलब
क्या किया? Your voice is not clear.
f लिखा ना मैम, तो 5 है, इसका मतलब क्या है?
I am not able to understand. Can you please type it in the chat box?
Okay.
Your voice is breaking. That's why Bhuvan. Bhuvan, okay. What is your name? Just type it in the chat box. Supreet.
हेलो मैम.
Yes, Kev.
मैम, if we want to assign more than one values, like for ये वाले सब में आपने कैसे सी इन के अंदर f का वैल्यू स्टोर किया हुआ है. तो अगर हम लोग को एक टाइम पे यूजर से हम लोग ने एक ही इसमें दो वैल्यूज लिए, फॉर एग्जांपल enter the value of a and b, and then user prints two values, and then we have
I
to
can
assign two
do
values.
it like that also. Yes. Suppose मैंने f and यहाँ पे one more variable लिया g. I will ask the user to enter the value for f and g, and I will simply here type f and g. Okay. Then here I am printing this, and suppose that value of g. So it will ask me to enter two values. Suppose I am entering one value as 20, another value as 10. See, it is asking me, it is waiting for the another value. When I am enter that, after that I am getting C. G का value पहले 10 print हो रहा है, then A का answer 25 मिल रहा है.
मैम, one more doubt.
Just a minute. अभी पहले मुझे वो सुप्रीत का डाउट देखने दें.
Okay मैम.
What is the value of f if a is equal to a plus f and a is equal to 5, then f is equal to, f is based on what input you give. Very good, very good. So you should see like that. See, programming तभी interesting लगेगा जब तुम लोग खुद से try करोगे. You will try it by yourself, not during the lecture, but after lecture होने के बाद तुम लोग try करो. See, when we are doing it ना, तुम लोग को ऐसे और डाउट्स आएंगे, like the one Kef asked, like if I wanted to enter multiple values, how I'll be able to get that values in C. So you just try it out by yourself. एरर्स आएगा चलेगा, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. हम लोग कोई मास्टर नहीं है प्रोग्रामर्स प्रोग्रामिंग में, and we don't wanted to become the engineer now itself, so that's okay even if you get the error, but with that error you read the error and try to understand it. जितना more you will do the debugging ना, you will become a good programmer, and always it is a sign of a good programmer to resolve the errors, understand the errors, and then resolve it. The more you resolve, the more you study by yourself, or more you will learn than whatever the knowledge is being there in the book, or whatever is given in the book. Everything is not given in the book. Sometimes we have to do R&D to understand in depth about that particular subject. Yes, Kef, now what was your doubt?
Ma'am, in C, like for if we want to print the value of sum of two number, Then we write sum of these numbers are equal to %d, and then we write the variable that has the output.
Okay.
So, ma'am, in this we have, if we want to like print the statement like the value of, then we have to write A, and then we have to write B is equal to C. We have to, and ABC should be replaced with their original values. So, how do
Hmm.
we write it?
That also I think I have shown you last time. And here also see we are doing A is equal to A plus F kar rahe. And finally we are printing the value of A. So there we are getting the result. Na? This is how you want it. Na? Yes, Kev? Or last time I
Ma'am,
have
if
told
we
you,
have
see,
multiple values in just a like,
multiple values in the sense.
means for
See,
example,
like
the
suppose,
C out
sorry.
equal to,
Okay, you say, then afterwards I'll say.
for example, if I want to print A plus B equal to C. So, if I
Hmm.
want to like print the values of A and B also
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
in the output, and then
Okay. Then
I
you
have
will
to,
be writing it like this. C out. See, C out is used to print your values. Yes or no?
yes, ma'am.
A plus B equals to, now suppose here we have not done anything. I can write A. I can do it like this also. Let's just check if it is working. Now since we have that, so 10, 20. What we have got, A is equal to 15. 15 plus B आया.
मैम बाकी का कमेंट कर दो.
हाँ, एक मिनट मैं कमेंट करती हूँ because it is even I am getting confused with that.
Mama. Oye.
Now let's check with this one. क्यों आ रहा है ये? This is not needed. I will simply write A plus B is equal to, got it?
मैम ये हम C असाइन करके उसके थ्रू भी कर सकते हैं ना, लाइक
हाँ, असाइन करके भी कर सकते हैं. He wanted to print it like this, that's why I showed him.
अच्छा.
Kev got this one?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can print it. जैसा तुम लोग C में करते थे ना, वो सब तुम लोग कर सकते हो इधर. Only the thing is you should understand which values you wanted to print and how you wanted to print. Okay, shall we move to the next one? So
Yes, ma'am.
this is the one which you have asked me. The range of values what you have for the different keywords. So for character, the lower range is -128 and the higher range is 127. Number of bytes required is 1 byte. For short, it is -32768 to 32767, and number short it is int, and the number of bytes required to store it in the memory is 2 bytes. For integer, here it is given 4 bytes. Now in the old book it is always given as 2 bytes, but now it is updated with 4 bytes. So integer is updated with 4 bytes. Your long int is also having 4 bytes. Float is also having 4 bytes, and double is also double is 8. And
Ma'am, what is
long double is
short?
having, as I said, 10 bytes. That is short int. Here this is short int. This is again another data type.
Okay.
जैसा तुम लोग लॉन्ग इंट है ना वैसे शॉर्ट इंट है. See, there are types you have, data types, how they are classified. You have integer, then long integer and short integer. Same way you have signed and unsigned integer. So उसके लिए एक specific range and size दिया है. Okay. So actually when you are talking about the data types are classified as user defined data types, built-in data types and derived data types. So let's move to the next one. Now this is about the memory concept. Like when you are using a particular variable, that variable names such as number 1, number 2 and sum, they are corresponding to a location in computer's memory. So every variable is having 4 parts, that is the type of the variable, the name of the variable, the size of the variable and what value you have. Like if suppose if I am talking about this character variable A. So char is nothing but what? A data type. In this one the char is a data type. Yes students?
Yes, ma'am.
Char is a data type. Letter is what? The name of that particular variable. This is the name of the variable which I have created. Then next is when you are writing character, when you are writing data type as character, it gives me the size. What it says, it will be requiring 1 byte in the memory. That is the size. And what value you have? Value is this character A you have. Okay. Suppose I am writing int A is equal to 15. So what will be your type?
Integer.
Integer. Name? What will be the name? I am writing int A is equal to 15.
A. The name.
A will be the name. What will be the size? 4. And value?
15.
Yes, very good. Now this concept also I have told you before, but if you remember scope of the variable, I have told you. See, what do you mean by scope of the variable? Abhi, we have learned about a variable. We have learned in detail about variable. कैसे declare करना है, किधर declare करना है, how we can assign a value to it, how that variable is getting stored in the memory, how much size it is taking, what type of that variable is. This is all we have discussed. But when we are declaring that variable in the program, for how much time we can use of that particular variable, how much time we can make use of that particular variable, that should also be known. Because in the first slide, if you remember, when we have started with the variables, what we have discussed, variables are used to store a particular value in the memory, and then that value can be changed as and when required in your program. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So then we should understand how many times we can change the value or where all we can make use of that particular variable. And when you're talking about that, that is what called as the scope of the variable. So scope of the variable is nothing but what? The portion of the program where the variable can be used. Where all you can declare your variable. So variables can be used as a local variables or variables can be used as a global variables. Means they can declare locally or they can declare as global. Now what do you mean by this local variables? Local variables are one which are defined within your module, within your program. Like in this program, when you are in this program, when you are writing int a is equal to 5, ये a हमने कहाँ पे डिक्लेयर किया?
वाली बुक कार वाली त्याच्यात +2 होतं.
Main function.
We have declared this a inside the main function. So this is local to your main function. A, B, D, whatever the variables F, G, these are all local to your main function. Okay.
वरती ठेवलेली.
Okay, so that is what called as or your called as local variables. Next we have global variables. Okay, before going to the local variables, see one more some more properties. That is, they are defined within a module. So that is this all A, B, D, F, G, they are all defined within main function. then they can be seen and used only by the module itself. Means now all these variables can be seen only by this main function. We don't have anything written outside the main. We have not written any function also outside the main. So it cannot be seen or it cannot be used outside the main. All these variables can be used inside your main only. Okay. Store temporarily in the memory. All these values are stored temporarily in the memory because the moment you will close the program, like the moment the C++ program, when I'll close it, it will release all the memory which is used by all these variables. So it erased when the module terminates. Okay, so the local variable terminates when a particular module or a particular function gets closed. Next, we have a global variable. Global variable is one which is defined outside the module. That means if I'll declare anything above my main function, that will be what called as your globally declared variable. So this variable can be used or can be seen by all the modules or functions that are written inside your program. So variable names can be duplicated within and outside a particular module. So for example, let's see the example of global variable. Like you must be knowing that when we will declare above int a is equal to int a or int b, and if suppose you are assigning some value also like int a is equal to 5. If I declare it above, then that means that variable a I can use it throughout my program or I can use it outside that program also. It will be accessible anywhere. और अगर कुछ और भी function तुमने लिखा तो वो function में भी you can make use of it. Yes or no? I'm not getting that screen.
Okay.
See here, now I can declare another variable, that is int, suppose int fy करके I am using one variable over here. So this variable is what called as a global variable, which I can assign a value. I can use it inside my program. I can write here fy is equal to 20. I can do it like this. Are you getting? And then I can print the value of it also. See out.
Page number.
So got the value 20 for fy. Yes, students. So fy is what called as a global variable. So this variable मतलब ये variable का scope throughout तुम्हारा program है. You can use that fy anywhere. Whereas ABD, FG, they have a scope only within this main function. Like suppose now outside the main, now I am creating another function as void. Suppose I am doing declaring another function. I am declaring some new variables also for this. or here in this function, if I'll try to write C out A, will it be accessible? Yes,
Yes,
students?
ma'am.
Accessible?
No, ma'am.
It will not. Why it will not be accessible? Because A and B both are your local variables. Did I use them globally? No. So the scope of A, B, D, F, F and G will be only inside this main. I cannot use them outside the main. Are you getting? Suppose even if I have called that function, I cannot call this AB over here. But instead of that, if I'll call a Cout, if I'll call a Fy over here, suppose I'm commenting this Fy, or let this be also there, and I'm calling Fy over here. Will it run now? Yes, students. Will it get executed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, students. Will it get executed? Yes. So we are getting the value of Fy as 20. नहीं print नहीं हुआ. Print नहीं हुआ because we have not called that function. It is getting executed, but it is not getting printed. So since because I have not called that function, so that Fy is not getting printed. But suppose अगर मैंने यहाँ पे उसको call किया, how you call your function? Like this? Yes, students. Do you call it like this?
This number 6 लेते हैं. लगभग 3 में 6 ले लें.
What? Your voice is breaking. I cannot hear it properly.
Plus
Or
6
data
में
type
7.
required.
Data type
Like
required.
int,
Huh?
yeah.
I should write int over here. What you are saying? I should write int over here instead of void.
Yeah, ma'am.
No, that is not a problem. Yes.
Ma'am, while declaring, while writing the function name,
Hmm. Writing the function.
it was in the line.
You are saying I should write it like this. You please type it if you wanted to. Whatever you are saying.
Ma'am, can you run the program?
Ma'am, can you tell about that again? Position.
There is a lot of disturbance. Can you please repeat what you said? Yes, students.
Ma'am, can you repeat that local wala part again? That call
See, local
reference.
wala I am saying ki this int A, B, D, then F and G, all these are declared. Where they are declared? Inside main function.
Yes, ma'am.
So they can be used only within that main function. We cannot use them outside the main function. Okay. So that is what called as your local variables. The variables which you can use it only inside a particular function or only in a particular module. that we call them as a local variables. Okay, but when we declare anything outside, that means what, it can be accessible anywhere, that is what called as your global variable. तो int fy क्या है, तुम्हारा global variable है, and a b d f g they are all your local variables. तो इसके लिए when we are trying to use that a and b over here, it gives us the error because we cannot use a and b outside your main. तो उसका a b d f g का scope किधर तक है, only within this bracket, only inside this bracket. The moment you come outside this bracket, a and b cannot be accessible. a b d f g जो भी है वो हम लोग यहाँ पे नहीं access कर सकते. अभी fy since we have declared it as globally, so we can access it inside the main also, we can access it outside the main also. Okay, but यहाँ पे अभी see simply if I'll simply write here, if I'll simply write I am writing a particular function and then inside function I am returning that value fy, right? But then calling that function is giving an error. What it is doing, it is giving an error. Why it is giving that error now? How do you call your functions? तुमने C में functions use किया है ना? How we declare the function, students?
Ma'am, if it is saying that we
Hmm?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carrots plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I want the answer from someone. Huh?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ma'am, if
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
saying that we need a return type in the
We need
chapter.
a return type. Where we need a return type? It is written now. I have written int sum.
Mama, परत 11 होणार. 11.
I have written return type.
ठीक है, हो
Still it is giving me the error.
Ma'am, can you scroll up a little?
6. हे अजून तो ऍड केले तर
Ma'am, is it because we have not assigned a value to fy globally?
6, 7, 8.
Okay.
8
So suppose I am writing fy is equal to 30. Will it work now? We'll just try it
Ma'am,
out.
okay, can you also write C out and then FY?
Where should I write that C out fy? That is written over
Int
here.
int in the function, ma'am.
I have written return fy. तो यहाँ पे वो value print होना चाहिए ना. So now what I will do, I will change this return type to void. Or I will write. Will it run now? Still it is giving an error. Tell me, what should I do?
Eight plus 8. 8.
Ma'am, can we write main instead of sum?
Can we write?
Main, main, main instead of sum.
No. Main you can write only once in your program. You cannot write it multiple times.
प्लस किती झाले 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 मम्मा 4 झाले हे 6 झाले
Yes, anyone. Just think of it and tell me.
Return.
लिहिलं
Ma'am, is it because of return 0?
आता हा सगळं पसारा
हम्म?
ठेवून देतो
No, nothing like that. See, I will simply what I will do. I will write it like this only in sum. Here I will write return fi. I will only write over here, and here I will just do one thing, that is C out. I will write sum, and let's try if it is working. Still it is not working. Now what I will do.
Hello, ma'am.
Hmm.
We have to declare sum, na?
For what?
Ma'am, here it is written sum was not declared in the scope.
Sum is a function which I have defined outside the main function. See, I'll write a separate program and we will try it out. इसमें बहुत हो गया changes करके. Suppose I am writing another function जिसके लिए मैं ले रही हूँ float multiplication. And suppose I am passing two values to it. Suppose parameter, that is float x x into y. Only it should return. Okay. Then
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, you're on mute.
okay, listen now. You have written x comma y. Then we have a main function.
Ma'am, you are on mute again.
Now 12.35 suppose. Values I am just giving, and here I am calling C out now. We'll just see if it is getting executed. We need to add one return 0 statement. So when you'll execute this, so it's getting printed. Yes, students. अभी ये प्रोग्राम में क्या किया है? We will just listen. We will just discuss that. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, now listen here. So we are able to get the value after multiplying this. Okay, if you suppose if I give this a small value, see we are getting this result. Okay. Yes, students. Have you understood this one? अभी यहाँ पे क्या है? Multiplication is a separate function you have. Multiplication is a separate function which I have written outside this main. Okay. And अभी यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? ये जो values है, these values are local. These values I am passing it to this function and then I am executing. Right. So what happens now when you declare any global value? When we declare any global value, in that case also what happens now? Whatever the value that we declare, that value should be passed. Okay. So if suppose globally, if I am declaring any value over here, like if sorry, if here also if I
मैम आगे नहीं आ रहा नहीं
yeah, I don't know what happens to my system. Automatically, it's going on mute. See, so ये क्या हुआ concept? ये local variables का concept हुआ. जहाँ पे हम लोग local variables ही वो function को pass कर रहे हैं and we are returning a result. Are you getting this return क्या कर रहा है वो? ये दोनों को multiply करने के बाद जो भी answer आ रहा है, it is giving you that answer. Yes or no? But what we were discussing about? We were discussing about the we were discussing about the global variables. So global variables में क्या होता है? When you are declaring that global variables, you can use that global variables anywhere in your program. See, अभी यहाँ पे मैंने int I करके declare किया है. यहाँ पे int I inside main function लिखा है, तो it is called as your local function. But when I write that int I outside, it becomes my global variable. Yes or no?
यस मैम
Then the scope resolution operator, we will see it afterwards. Now we will not see. Okay, now just see about
Ma'am,
that.
can you explain why the before program was wrong?
Which one? हाँ, that
The
one. That is what I am telling. See now, अभी यहाँ पे मैंने कोई variable use किया. Suppose int a. So I can use this a is equal to 20. Suppose declare it like this. What will be this type of variable? Is it local or global?
Ma'am, it's global.
ग्लोबल
It's global. So what it says, global variables you can use it anywhere. अभी ये multiplication function, it's outside your main. It's outside your main function. It's defined outside your main function. Yes or no? I can simply write cout a over here. If I write that cout a. If I'm using that cout a and then I'm printing. See, I'm getting first that 20 value and then this one. So what I should do? I should type action over here and then I run. I'll get 20 separately and 492735. So that means this a variable I can use it over here. A variables I can use it over here also. But यहाँ पे उसका value change हो रहा है. Understood? Understood, students?
yes, ma'am.
So today we will stop it over here In the next lecture, then we will see about the remaining things. The problem with the previous program is we were trying to reassign the values of that variables again and again. That's why it was not working. And then so many times we have declared it that was the problem. But otherwise, you just understand that global variables ka scope is anywhere in your program. I can use it inside any other function, or I can use it inside main, or I can use it outside the main also. Hope this is clear to you now.
हेलो मैम.
Yes.
मैम फ्लोट मल के बाजू में आपने फ्लोट एक्स कॉमा फ्लोट वाई क्यों लिखे हो?
वो सब मैं एक्सप्लेन करती हूँ. ये अभी जस्ट तुम्हें ग्लोबल का कंसेप्ट सिखाने के लिए, ग्लोबल एंड लोकल वेरिएबल्स के बारे में बोलने के लिए मैंने एग्जांपल लिखा. वो दीज आर
Okay,
कॉल्ड
ma'am.
एज पैरामीटर्स. जब कोई भी तुम लोग एक फंक्शन कॉल करते हो ना, या फिर फंक्शन, सी आई वांटेड टू एग्जीक्यूट मल्टीप्लिकेशन, बट मल्टीप्लिकेशन आई कैन डू इट ऑन ओनली 2 वेरिएबल्स. I can do it on multiple variables, but if suppose I wanted to do it on 2 variables, so वो 2 variables I have to pass it to my function. Yes or no? Yes or no? 2 वेरिएबल चाहिए या
Yes,
नहीं
ma'am.
चाहिए मल्टीप्लिकेशन करने के लिए? तो ये क्या करता है, क्या किया हमने, ये पैरामीटर्स पास किया है. दिस इज व्हाट पैरामीटर्स पासिंग टू योर फंक्शन. ओके.
Ma'am,
यस.
can you please repeat the difference between global variable and local?
Global variable is, see, whatever the variables you will declare it inside a particular function. See, अगर मैंने यहाँ पे instead of a I will declare some other variable. Suppose it is p. Here I am writing it as p. See, and यहाँ पे और एक suppose variable लिया मैंने int x. Now, when you are talking about x is local to this function multiplication. X you cannot use it in main also. अगर मैंने यहाँ पे cout x लिखा ना, वो error देगा. क्यों? Because the scope of x is local only within this module. We have seen it is local to a particular module. So x will be visible only to this multiplication function. Similarly, ये जो a and b declare किया है यहाँ पे, a and b will be visible only to this main function, or it will be accessible only within that main function. So the scope of a and b is to main function only. But if I am talking about p is global. That means p I can use it inside this multiplication function also, and p I can use it in main function also, or I can use it anywhere. So the scope of the global variable is anywhere in throughout your program, and scope of your local variable is only within a particular module or particular function. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So shall we stop here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. So in the next
Thank
lecture,
you,
we
ma'am.
will
Bye,
see
ma'am.
in the next lecture we will see a concept all about functions.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am. Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.